Hi, it's Coach Jeff here with the Week 3, Week 4 pitching recap. I'm really going to just put in Week 3 through 6, okay, and that's pitching and full swing, because for a lot of junior golfers, separating out pitching and full swing is a little bit challenging. We've laid the foundation with all the skills that we've covered in those first few weeks with the chipping stroke, okay? The only really fundamental difference is when we come into pitch is the application of a wrist hinge. And here's where the problem comes. When you start to apply the wrist hinge and the club head becomes above the hands, this is when maintaining control of that club head becomes paramount. When the weight is below the hands on the chipping stroke, it's quite a bit easier than when we hinge the club above. So if you find that your kid is struggling, number one, check the grip position, okay? Number two is check the grip pressure to make sure that they have ample control of that golf club when it comes up in the air and the gravity is not trying to pull that club underneath. So for the pitching stroke, what we're really going to teach is we're going to teach a stroke where that the hands move from a bottom position, 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7, 8 chipping, up into this 9 or 10 o'clock position, okay, for the pitching stroke. So I'm up here for 9 or 10 for pitching, and then we'll just advance it up to a full swing. We'll really just talk about making an L position with the back arm where the elbow is as high as the armpit that the club is not lifted. So that's really the only difference in here. If you still have the rotation and the weight transfer forward, okay, and you have control of the club face, whether it be in this 9 or 10 o'clock position or a full swing position, then the player's easily going to be able to swing the club down the plane, compress the golf ball, and finish. And when we talk about swinging it down the plane, what we talk about is the circles. We talk about in the chipping stroke of making a small letter U, okay, that's the path that the hands take, a small letter U, advancing up into a pitching where it becomes a bigger U, and then all the way up into the full swing where it's really more of a circular nature altogether. So really not complicated. Again, keep moving targets around, see that they have target orientation. I would suggest this. I often heard this thing called miniature golf in these places on the side of the road. It's not miniature golf. You want to play real miniature golf, you'll number one get a putter, and you'll start teaching your kid the putting strokes, which we'll send over a review over that later to you, okay? Work on learning to two-putt, controlling the golf ball both distance-wise and direction-wise. Once they can two-putt on there, now start chipping. So we have golf balls dropped off the green. What is par? Par is 3. 1 chip on, 2 putts for par. If they're able to chip it on in 1 putt, that's their birdie. Then you advance from that 5 or 10 yard chipping area and you start advancing back to 15 or 20 yards where they have to pitch. It's still going to be a par 3, and eventually you're going to move back into a full swing with a wedge or a sand wedge, maybe 30 or 40 yards depending upon their age and their size, and that's true miniature golf. Most golf facilities have a chipping and pitching area that you can utilize for free. So if you come out there, if you've got a wedge and a putter, okay, you can play miniature golf for most every course for free. You can putt, you can work on chipping and then putting, you can work on pitching and then putting, and then you can move back and you can full swing and putting. I advise a lot of people, don't go messing with that driver so soon, okay? It's kind of like you know, I grew up in the mountains and skiing, and you know, we never went to the top of the mountain because we get hurt. We weren't ready to go up there. Don't hand that driver to your kid too soon, because that's hard to control. Fun when we hit it, but hard to control. And what you find is you find the body just trying to sources out, you know, different power sources, and there's nothing about technique, okay? So work with that wedge. Play true miniature golf back to 30, 40 yards in there where you can get it on a green and they can get it in the hole in 3 or 4 strokes. Now you're playing some great golf, and then from there you can start moving that back further, maybe into a mid-iron, a 7 or an 8-iron, playing what would be considered more of a conventional par 3 for a junior, and eventually getting back to then a drive, an approach, and then hopefully on the green, or have the ability to get it up and down. So spend some time. It's going to pay dividends. Have some fun doing it. Make it a game. Make it a challenge. Let them know, hey, if I drop it off the green, 3 is the goal in the hole. You know, 4 is okay, 3 is good, 2 is fabulous, okay? Move back in there to those full swings and pitching strokes with that wedge. Do the same game. You're going to really be developing yourself a junior golfer. So work hard. We'll see you at the golf course. Take care.